I think every beginner should know this scale shape, or at least I wish I knew it way before I learned it in my guitar journey, and I'm going to teach it to you right now. My name is Jake, and I've been teaching the coolest people on the internet to play guitar for the last 16 years. There are hundreds of ways to play scales and so many different approaches, and all of them are awesome and have their place in our guitar journey and what we might want to use them for as we're improvising or learning songs. But this particular shape is fantastic in that it's pretty easy to learn. It spans the whole neck, and that makes it perfect for beginners who are just starting to explore the neck of the guitar. So I'm going to teach you the scale, then I'm going to teach you a small variation so you can play it in pretty much any key pretty quickly. Then last, the third thing is I'm going to show you how you might use this to improvise or to start soloing over a backing track or just for fun. So first, we're learning the scale shape. So I'm starting on the 3rd fret of the thickest string. Now this is going to be a G major pentatonic scale. Pentatonic means there's 5 notes before the scale repeats. So let's go through it. We're starting on 3rd fret of the thickest string, then we play 5th fret, and then in order to play the scale, I'm sliding up to 7th fret. Then I play 5, 7 on the A string, on the 5th string. So those are my first 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said pentatonic scaled, now we repeat. We do that exact same pattern where we play 2 notes and then slide up on the next set of strings. So it's 5, 7, slide to 9, I'm on the D string, and then 7, 9 on the G string. Now, if you remember, our B string is tuned a little differently. We tune it to 4th fret of the G string instead of everything being at 5th. So we need to move our index finger up from 7th to 8th fret on the 2nd string, the B string, and then we do the same thing. It's going to be 8, 10, slide 12, and then 10, 12. Now, to end it, I went 3 frets higher to play this note G. You don't have to include that one. It is an extra, technically 6th note on that 3rd part of the pattern. So the first part of the pattern, remember, 3, 5, 7, 5, 7 on the 5th string, 5, 7, 9, then 7, 9 on strings 4 and then 3. Then first finger goes up to 8th fret, 8, 10, 12, 10, 12, and then I can finish up at 13th fret. Now, we can move this anywhere on our 6th string to get started. So that was G major pentatonic. If I wanted to say play A major pentatonic, I could find an A on the thickest string. E, F, G, A would be 5th fret. So I would start at 5th fret. 5, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9, 11, 9, 11. First finger goes up, 10, 12, 14, 12, 14. And then if I wanted to slide up to 17th fret to play that high A, I could do that. Okay. So that's my first way to play it, but I told you I was going to teach you a variation to make it easier to play in different keys. So as we start to get higher, say trying to play up here with the key of C or the key of D, I'm really going to get into the stratosphere of the guitar pretty quickly. So where can I do this to make it a little easier? Well, we can actually not start on the root note on the 6th string, but we can start on what would be the 5th scale degree. All that seems a little confusing. Let me just walk you through it. Instead of starting with the notes that slide and then finishing with the next 2 notes, we can start with the notes that don't slide and then slide. So I can play fret 3, 5 on the thickest string and then play 3, 5, slide to 7 on the 5th string. Then I would repeat that pattern again. So it would be 5, 7 on string 4, 5, 7, 9 on string 3. Again, remember, we always have to move that finger when we get to B. So I would do 8, 10, and then 8, 10, 12 on the thinnest string. This scale shape has the root on the 5th string instead of the 6th string. Yes, the first note we play is on the 6th string, but the root note is the first note we play on string 5. So this one was actually the C major pentatonic scale. So we can now cover pretty much the whole neck. If we want to play something that starts lower, say F, we can start it with the root on the 6th string. If I want to play something that's a little bit higher, let's say D major pentatonic, I can find my D note on the A string, A, B, C, D, and then remember I still start on the 6th string even though my root is on the 5th. So again, either way, I'm spanning a lot of the neck, and I'm able to use this to improvise. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to play a little pattern in the key of G. So G, D, E minor, C. I'm going to play, and then I'm going to use the scale to improvise for a little bit, and then I'll walk you through what I'm doing. So what I'm doing to improvise is I'm just spanning the whole neck by only using notes that are in that particular shape that we went over. I know which notes I can use that are going to sound good over this progression in G major because it's the G major pentatonic scale. What's really cool about the pentatonic scale is we take out all the really crunchy notes. So it's also what's not cool about the pentatonic scale. But what's really nice is we can also start to add in those crunchy notes in and around the scale that we're playing as we start to get a little more advanced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the note C when we get to a C chord, and I'm going to add in the note F sharp when we get to a D chord to really pull out the sound of those chords. So here we go. What I did there was I added a couple notes that weren't in my initial 5 notes. G, A, B, D, and E. Those weren't my initial 5. Well, what I did is I added in an F sharp because that is a really pretty note over the D chord. And I added in the note C because that note, the C, is the root note of the C chord, but that's just not in our pentatonic scale. So I'm able to use this as a framework for getting more and more advanced in my soloing. Now, please don't worry if this at the beginning was like, wait, what do you mean grabbing other notes? The best place to start is just taking these 5 notes and playing them across the neck so that you can feel comfortable with them and just explore over a simple backing track in the key of G. We want to use our ear more than we want to use our brain. You might not know what notes sound good to describe them, to say, oh, an F sharp is going to sound great over a D chord. But as you're playing, you want to feel, oh, that felt good when I played that note. I liked it, so do more of it. We want to learn with our ear first and our brain second. If you found this to be helpful in any way, I want to invite you to join me for free in my course and community at school.com/guitar. That's schoolwithak.com/guitar. I'll have a link in the description. We have over 1,500 guitar players in there learning stuff like this, applying it to music, sending in videos, getting feedback, and we just have a blast. Also, if your fingers aren't really cooperating as you're trying to learn the scale, your brain knows what to do, but your fingers aren't doing it, this exercise in just 2 minutes a day is going to fix that problem for you and give you confident fingers that listen to your brain and do what it says.